Hello, welcome back. So I'm just gonna get right into it because this is actually like the fourth or fifth time I've recorded this. Because the first time I did it, the sound got all messed up and something wasn't right and blah, 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 blah. You know how it is. Where to leave off in the last video? Three main things. One, there is only one human race. Two, we are a rainbow of brown. Melanin is brown. And three, we have infinite cultures. So really, people aren't necessarily racist, they're culturist. Okay? Now, there's that. But what does that all mean? Listen, I'm gonna keep on going here. One race, infinite cultures, rainbow of brown. Depending on your equatorial ancestry determines the amount of melanin you're gonna have in your skin. And I'm gonna talk about that in the third video. But for right now, look at this. I'm gonna show you something. Watch. That's you. Those are your parents. Those are your grandparents. Your grandparents made your parents made you. So you would not exist without your parents or your grandparents, right? That's right. Now, these are your great-grandparents, your parents' parents' parents. These are your great-great-grandparents. Look at all those people. All those people went in to you. Your great-grandparent, your great-great-grandparents made your great-grandparents, your great-grandparents made your grandparents made your parents, and your parents made you. Therefore, you would not exist without your great-great-grandparents. Agreed? That's right. So, with that in mind, would you exist without your great 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 5,000 greats? Would you exist if they never existed? Of course not. We exist because of our ancestors. Our ancestors existed, made our whatever, ultimately made our parents, and our parents made us. Yeah? Now here you and I are having an interaction. Okay? So, think about this. Let's look at me, okay? My mom is third generation, I'm third generation American on my mom's side. My mom's second generation American, okay, from Lebanon. So my mom was born in New York, and my mom's parents were born in New York and North Carolina, but my mom's grandparents were born in Lebanon, okay? So I can say that my great-grandparents were from Lebanon, right? I can say that, no problem. But my great-great-grandparents on my mom's side, maybe, most likely, but I don't really know. Or about my great-great-great-grandparents on my mom's side. Maybe, Lebanon, but I don't know, okay? What about my 5,000 greats? My 5,000, my 10,000 greats, great-grandparents, where are they from? I'll tell you, for all of us, our great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents times 1,000 times 5,000, all of us are from Africa. Mother Africa. All humans hail from Africa, which means we are all African. Okay? Now, be careful, okay? I'm not talking about what Africa is today. I'm not talking about what any of these countries are today. In fact, when all of this was happening, when humans were, migrating around the world over the past, 250,000 years or whatever it is, okay, it's a long time, 200,000 years, 200,000 plus years we've been around, okay? These ideas, when I say India, you have a judgment. When I say Africa, you have a judgment. When I say China, you have a judgment. You have this concept that you generate in your mind based on the name of a country, okay? But these countries didn't exist. The land existed, but not the countries. The lines are made up. They're all made up. There is no line between America and Canada. There is no line between Russia and China. There is no line between whatever, okay? There's no line between Texas and Mexico. It's all made up. We're making up the lines, all right? These ideas of country, they're all made up. Again, it's based on culture. You can't spell culture without cult. I want to make sure you get that in your head. You can't spell culture without cult. Yeah? So let's look at this. Ready? Here we go. Now, humans started in Africa. We know that. But let's start with earliest human fossils, okay? So you can find evidence of Homo sapiens, humans, in South America, Central America. Oh, I'm not very good at this. Yes, I am. I can do this. I got this. South America, Central America, and North America. You can find evidence of human life there, fossil evidence, archaeological evidence, yeah? That dates to about 12,000 years ago. So 12,000 years, you'll have evidence of human life in this area. All right, that means humans have been living here for 12,000 years. Then you go up to the Bering Strait area. Humans have been living up here for about 15,000 years. All right, remember the Bering Strait? Right? Let's look over here. Now, over here in like what is today Russia and Asia, people have been living here for about 25,000 years. So humans have only been living in Russia for 25,000 years, and it's not even the Russians. Like what is a Russian? You know, it's just a person. Okay, like you and me, it's just a person. Okay, humans have been living in what is today Russia and China for about 25,000 years. People have been living in Southern Asia for 70,000 years. People have been living in Europe for about 40,000 years. Mesopotamia for about 100,000 years. And people have been living in Africa for over 200,000 years. The oldest human fossil, the oldest evidence of human life, Homo sapien life, is in Africa, what is today called Ethiopia. All right? What that means is that if you find wherever is the oldest fossil, wherever is the oldest piece of evidence, that's where you find the first form of that organism, right? Which means that the people who were from the indigenous people of South America, okay, were really actually from Asia. But really the people who were indigenous to Asia really were indigenous to South Asia. But really they were indigenous to Mesopotamia. But really they were indigenous to Africa, okay? So everybody who is from indigenous to North America really is from Africa. Everybody who's indigenous to Europe really is from Africa. We're all African. So this idea of there being differences between us is made up. We're imagining it inside of our heads, like the boogeyman. There is no race. There's one race. One. There are no races. There's one race. Human race. Okay? And remember, melanin is brown. There's only one color for skin color. It's melanin and it's brown. Let's talk about that in the next video.